So, 2024 has ended, and movies came out, and some really bad movies came out as well. And I'm going to talk about 10 of them that I really did not like. Now, just know this is going to be my opinion. These movies may be the best movies to you people, and some of these movies may not be the worst films of 2024 technically, but these are movies that I saw, that I watched, that I hated, insulted me personally, and yeah, I'm going to talk about them. These are not going to be reviews of the films. Some of them I do have reviews on my channel, so feel free to check them out. Yeah, hopefully I don't go on too many rants. Also, do you like to watch me play video games? If so, follow me on Twitch. The link is going to be right here on the screen. Go ahead, follow it right there. It's right on the screen. I play video games Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Feel free to come on and, yeah, hang out with me. And, yeah, let's get on with this video.
What the hell?
Number 10 is Night Swim, made by Blumhouse and Universal Pictures, directed by Bryce McGuire. This movie is the definition of a shitty January horror movie that comes out every year and people just watch it because the premise seems pretty good, and I of course watched it and thought it was fucking awful. What a stupid fucking movie, first off. It's not anything of what you think it is at all. The plot is about this family moving into a house, and there's this pool that they renovate, and it turns out the pool's cursed, and every time someone goes swimming in it, sometimes they don't come out, and sometimes people get too addicted to the pool, and there's a monster and it wants to kill everyone or something, or possess them. Super forgettable. None of the actors did anything impressive at all during this entire film. There was a scene where the kid was like coming into the kitchen and like stared at the mom, and as the mom closed the like fridge door, the kid was right there staring at her, and that was pretty funny. But yeah, very bad, very laughable, very forgettable, very just stupid in general. Like, this is just a typical Blumhouse film, so you really shouldn't expect anything from it, to be honest. I don't even know why we're still making shitty horror movies that come out in January. It's almost like a tradition at this point. And for some reason, Blumhouse is like the fucking pioneers of these movies that come out. I really didn't get a chance to talk about this film as well, but also Imaginary might as well go on this spot. These two are very interchangeable, both shitty films. Don't bother watching them. Honestly, don't bother watching any of the films that I'm going to be talking about. But yeah, if you want a very uninteresting, very underwhelming, stupid movie to watch, watch Night Swim. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe this movie. It's just stupid. At number 9 is Despicable Me 4, and I don't even know why I'm even bothering talking about this film. This is a movie that I did make a review on, but to be honest, it doesn't matter what I have to say. This movie is going to make the money it needs to. The fourth installment of this franchise is just so bad. Made by Illumination, of course, the people who are probably the laziest animators in the fucking universe, and they pretty much outdid themselves even more with this film. It's just, this film has so many plot points happening for itself. It's so bad. Nothing really gets resolved, and like the villain is so fucking awful that he's beaten in like one punch or something. And like they introduce like the minions as superheroes, and they even make jokes about people are tired of superheroes, even though this film also has superheroes in it. So it's like, it's self-aware, guys, but it still does the thing that it's making fun of. I was at a Christmas event, and I remember this movie was playing in the background, and yeah, you could just tell by this film that it is just like, obviously no adult should be watching it. This is definitely for kids, of course, but I don't know why Illumination can't just also make a good film. You know, the first Despicable Me was actually pretty good, but as they keep making more and more of these films, they just keep getting worse and worse, and you bet your ass they're going to be making a Despicable Me 5 and another 3 Minions movies after this one. But yeah, this is one of those movies where you could just have on in the background for the kids to watch. They don't even need to like listen to the film. They can watch it on mute and you would know what's going on. Also, the animation was very inconsistent in this film. There was moments where some characters and bug creatures just looked so weird. Like, why does it look like that? Yeah, another stupid movie from Illumination. I can't believe these are the people who are making the Mario movies, which aren't the worst movies ever, but I really wish they weren't in charge of them. Small rant, but please, Nintendo, don't let Illumination make any more Mario movies. At number 8 is Venom 3, The Last Dance by Sony and the Spider-Man villain universe, and my god, what a boring fucking movie. It is just a shame how the films of the Venom verse keep getting worse and worse. This one was so boring. It was so underdeveloped in so many ways. The film, I swear, could have been 30 minutes long, and it would have kept all the important scenes in it. So much wasted time, so many boring moments. Also, the cast is like 20 people. It's like they just didn't even give a shit. They're like, well, we got to make a Venom movie to close out this year because we have to have 3 Venom or Spider-Man villain movies this year because we're not making any more after this. I feel bad because I think Tom Hardy does a good job, and I feel like he had to carry the entire Venom movie franchise on his back. And yeah, just a shame that these movies don't fucking matter at all anymore. This movie really wasn't that great. I know the marketing for this film was also pretty crazy, but didn't matter. It was just so boring. I know it also even made its money back apparently, but again, like I keep saying, it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you also want a film to just have on in the background while you fall asleep, yeah, definitely put this on because this movie will definitely knock you out and put you to sleep. It's nothing interesting. It's nothing special at all. It's just the great definition of boring.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
At number 7 is Kung Fu Panda 4, and my god, what another disappointment film that has come out that was just so bad. Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2 were honestly pretty great. Kung Fu Panda 3, while wasn't the best in the trilogy, wasn't that awful. It stumbled here and there, but you know, it still made for a fine trilogy, and I almost wish they never even made anything after 3, but DreamWorks needs money and they might as well keep making more Kung Fu Panda movies, even though I could have sworn they said they were going to make 6 like years ago, but I don't know if that's what they're going to do now. Oh, sorry, I just burped. But yeah, this movie was so bad. It was so boring. Awkwafina plays the new character that comes in. It's Awkwafina being Awkwafina's character. Po doesn't want to be the Dragon Warrior anymore, or at least he's told he needs to find a new apprentice because he needs to retire soon, even though Po comes off as being like a very young man, so it's kind of weird that in the 4th movie he's already ready to retire. The Phoenix 5 is not in this film, but the B plot of this film involves Po's dad and his other real dad, and my god, that was such a waste of time. The villain is so stupid. I predicted it so long ago because I predicted it was going to be stupid because they said, oh, Tai Lung and basically the main villain from the first 3 movies are going to come back for the 4th one, and I knew that was just a sign of, oh, they don't have any more creative ideas left, so they're just going to rehash the fucking first 3 villains, kind of like a Destiny raid boss or something. Yeah, what a waste of a plot. It's so bad. It's such an insult on Kung Fu Panda because I know there are a lot of big fans out there and they don't deserve this film. Trust me when I say this, this is the worst Kung Fu Panda movie out there. It's definitely one of DreamWorks' worst movies that they've made, and I honest to god don't understand why Kung Fu Panda has to be this bad. It is such a beloved franchise, and it's, again, just a shame that they have to, I have to be talking about this. Kung Fu Panda 4, it's like, you're supposed to be one of the good kids. Why are you here on this list, Kung Fu Panda? Get your act together. They're probably going to make a Kung Fu Panda 5, but holy shit, they better get their shit together. Actually, they are making a Kung Fu Panda 5, so yeah, Kung Fu Panda, get your shit together. At number 6 is Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon Part 2. Yeah, that's right. Rebel Moon Part 2 technically came out this year, even though it's a continuation of the first film, but it still acts as its own standalone film. And my god, was it a waste of time. It really felt very underwhelming because, like, after watching the first film, it was definitely bad, but you could kind of see what they were going for because they set up all these characters, all these worlds, and all these cool things, and you think to yourself, oh, watch the second movie really be cool, because that's usually when, like, the plot picks up and it sets off this, like, crazy change. But no, the plot goes back to the very first planet of the first film, and there's a big war scene, and half the film is spent on a training montage, and in the director's cut of this film, which, by the way, there's a director's cut. Small rant. Holy shit, Zack Snyder is such a fucking hack. How the fuck are you given all the freedom in the world to make your own movie, and then you come out and make a director's cut of the film you had complete freedom over? It's like if I was just, for example, I was just given $1 million to make like a painting or whatever, and I have like 2 years to do it, and I come out and make this painting, and then like half a month later or like 6 months later, I come out and say, here's my director's cut of my painting. Well, then why didn't you just make the better version of the painting? Why did you give us the, watered down version, or your not, fully complete film? Zach, why did you do that? Basically what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, in the director's cut, there's like more sex scenes, there's more cussing, more violence. It really doesn't fucking matter because it's all on Netflix. Zack Snyder had complete freedom to do whatever he wants. But yeah, this film was a waste of time. I mean, sure, it's dumb fun, but really, it doesn't really mean it doesn't matter because you don't really care about the plot or the story. It keeps copying off of Star Wars, and I really wish it would stop trying to do that. It does have its own original elements, but those original elements are very stupid. Yeah, just in general, probably the stupidest movies ever come out. I don't understand how Zack Snyder even still has a career because this is just a stupid fucking awful movie. Complete waste of time. It's not worth the investment. It's also a decently long movie. So yeah, it's asking for a lot. It's asking a lot of the viewers and audience.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Before I get to the next one, I do have a review of Kung Fu Panda 4 and Venom 3 and Despicable Me 4 on my channel. But for number 5, it's Megamind. Oh my god. I can't even say it right. It's so Megamind. Yep, that's right. Megamind 2, Doom Syndicate Evil, whatever. I don't even fucking matter. I refuse to look up anything about this film at all. It was so fucking bad. Holy shit. What a fucking disaster of a quote-unquote film. In Megamind 1, it was so underrated. So many people don't even know about this film, and only the real animation fans know about this gem. And then, oh my god, fucking DreamWorks had to come in and be like, hey, let's completely fuck over this franchise by making this shitty, stupid direct-to-DVD movie. Or in this situation, it was directly to streaming services. It definitely wasn't in theaters because holy shit, I would have actually... I would have done something if I actually went to see this film in theaters. Oh my god, it was so bad. The animation is downgraded. The story is bad and stupid. It doesn't make any sense because this is supposed to take place 1 year or very shortly after the first Megamind film, which came out in 2008, I want to say? 2010. Yet this film, it takes place shortly after the first film, and there's smartphones and live streaming and all this bullshit that was barely even around. So it's like the people who made this film didn't even watch the first Megamind film. Characters are all stupid. The villains are stupid because there's multiple villains. They each get beat up in a one punch again. The plot points are rehashed from the first film. Everything in this film is annoying. The music is so forgettable if there even was a soundtrack. This movie is the definition of an insulting sequel to a beloved film. And I, for the life of me, cannot understand why they decided to make this awful piece of shit movie. It's just the definition of infuriating. I didn't make a film review of this, but I would probably just be ranting about it for 2 hours about how much I hated it. And for as much as I'm talking about it, you'd think this would be number 1, but trust me, there are other films that I fucking just hated and thought was a waste of time more than this. I remember maybe getting a chuckle out of this, but my god, I can't get over the fact that this is actually a film that exists. Holy shit, fuck this movie, and fuck you DreamWorks, what the fuck. And then apparently this is a setup for the series that's coming to their streaming platform. I don't want to look any of this shit up. I don't care. Don't watch this movie if you're a fan of Megamind. Just pretend it never happened and just say that only the first Megamind is the only thing that's ever come out. Yeah, don't watch this film at all. Megamind, the Doom Syndicate versus the Doom Syndicate, whatever. Don't watch it. At number 4 is Megalopolis. I recently just uploaded the review for this film because I just had to talk about how stupid this fucking movie was. It is just a genuine waste of time. No one should even try to watch this film if they're even slightly interested, because I promise you there is nothing to enjoy about this stupid movie. I can't even call it a movie because this is one of those films where it's just a collection of scenes that just lead into another, And it seems like the director had no idea what he was fucking doing, and he was high off of his own farts half the time, or pretty much the entire time. Speaking of the director, he was a total fucking creep to the people who worked on this film. Also, he wanted to hire canceled actors because he was afraid this movie was going to be woke, which is like, what the fuck does that even mean? I don't recall, like, Adam Driver being a canceled actor, unless he was talking about Shia LaBeouf. And it's like, okay. And yeah, Shia LaBeouf is in this film, so my God, my Shia LaBeouf is in a 2024 film. But yeah, this movie was pointless. The plot was bad. The animation was bad except for a few parts. The acting was very subpar, and I feel like everyone didn't even give their best performances. This movie sparked no emotion except boredom and frustration and questioning of like, why did I waste my time watching this film? It's not that deep at all, even though there's going to be some people on the internet claiming that this is a very deep film and you really need to have a very high IQ to understand it. Fuck you, you don't need to. Trust me, it's not that deep at all. It's such a waste of time. Like, genuinely, do not watch this film. And yeah, there was some drama with this film having fake reviews. Doesn't even matter because it's the complete opposite. The director also wanted this to be his magnum opus. Okay. Yeah. Oh, good job. What a stupid movie. What an awful movie. Like, honestly, truly awful. Don't bother wasting your time watching this. In fact, don't even call it a movie. Just call it a series of scenes. That's what I'm gonna start calling these stupid movies that just waste my time. At number 3, my lord, is Borderlands, and oh my God. Where do I even fucking begin with this film? The action and animation was all bad and boring. The characters was horribly miscasted, and whoever was in charge of this movie should be fired from the universe. Fuck you, Randy Pitchford. You wanted to be involved in this film, you still want to be even afterwards. Still, fuck you. There is some producer out there who was like, oh, give this movie a chance. It's actually pretty okay once you watch it. Don't listen to the critics. No, listen to the critics. This movie's stupid. The adventure is very dumb, and it does not feel like a Borderlands adventure. Even back to the actors and actresses, they clearly didn't give a fuck about this film. The main character, Kate Blanchett, which I'm pretty sure she's an amazing actress. I probably butchered her name, but she's an amazing actress, and she just didn't give a shit about this performance, and it clearly shows. Kevin Hart obviously doesn't know what a fucking video game is, and he needs to stop trying to act cool and hip with all the kids nowadays because he's on Kai Cenat's stream. He's such a boomer, my God. What a horrible actor to play Roland. There's no point of talking about anybody else in this film. Okay, I'll talk about him. Jack Black tried his best with this film, but sadly that was not even enough. Like, he could do the best performance ever, but it still wasn't enough. Also, it's pretty obvious that the director told Jack Black to just do whatever he wants, and it shows in this film. Jamie Lee Curtis is also in this movie for some reason. Why on earth did these people get the roles of this movie? I'll never understand it. Also, this movie doesn't even have guns. The big thing about Borderlands is the guns, and there is no guns in this movie. You failed on a fundamental level. You couldn't even get the guns right in Borderlands because there's like maybe one or two, maybe at most two interesting guns in the entire film. I'm pretty sure this movie is setting up a sequel. I hope to God it doesn't. Like, my God, Borderlands have just been getting the craziest disrespect towards them in the past decade, and it's like, it never used to be like this. Let's hope Borderlands 4 is a good game, and let's hope maybe I don't know if this fucking pile of shit is getting a sequel, but if it does, let's just hope for the best, I guess. Also, this movie was so goddamn boring. It is by far, and I promise you, the most boring movie of the entire year. I genuinely wanted to fall asleep watching this film. I was so tapped out. I wanted it to be over. I hate this fucking movie. Oh my God. Whoever was in charge of this movie, again, needs to be fired. And please, for the love of God, stop hiring people who clearly don't give a fuck about the franchise to make these top like these big budget films. Again, same situation with the Halo franchise. Stop hiring people who doesn't give a shit about Halo to make a TV series. Yeah, fuck this film. Fuck it. Don't watch it. You'll fall asleep. Promise you. You will. It's so bad. Like, Kate, literally, her first line is, "I'm getting too old for this shit." It's true, you are. Fuck this movie. All right, I have a blue prime chill right here. It's pretty cool, because I'm gonna need it for what I'm about to talk about next. Number 2 is Joker 2. Folie à deux. I don't even want to talk about this movie. I hate it. I hate it so much. This movie, for the life of me, for the life of me, I swear. Oh my god, it's so bad. What an insult to people who was fans of the first Joker films. Todd Phillips, the guy who directed the fucking Hangover franchise, woke up one day and said, "I'm feeling a bit artsy. Also, I want to take a shit on my reputation and piss people off. And I want to do it all in one fucking film." So he made Joker 2. There has never been a film that I swear, there has never been a film that has come out that has had such an amazing first part with the first Joker film and then had such an opposite reaction to the sequel. Like, usually it's like, oh, you know, the sequel's not as great as the first. Sometimes they rehash things. This movie was so bad. It was so bad. And I really wish people, because people to this day are still trying to defend this movie. I don't care who you are, fucking Kojima. This movie was bad. It's a complete waste of time. The musicals mean absolutely nothing, and by the way, are completely forgettable. I'm fucking getting my words twisted. There is like one good scene in the entire film, which is a scene between like the short guy, I don't remember his name, and Arthur during the court. By the way, this is a court drama film, but also half of the film takes place inside the prison where Arthur has to keep going back to when he's done with trial day or whatever. Lady Gaga is in this film and she is forgettable. And it seems like she only got this role because they knew this film was going to be a musical, so they said, fuck it, let's get a musical person. And oh, excuse me. And they said, oh, let's just get Lady Gaga. Just why the fuck not? I don't know. This movie tries so hard. And I mean, it tries so hard to be so artsy. Again, like Megalopolis, it just tries so hard to be this film that only the smart intellectual critic, the top 1% of those people, can understand. And again, I will say it again, you do not need to be a genius or a film critic to see how this movie is bad. I don't even give a shit about spoilers. This movie is fucking stupid because the entire time, like, the Joker, the character we've been following for the first 2 films, isn't even the Joker at the end of the fucking movie. He was just a setup to reveal the real Joker, who's basically, like, influenced by the Keith Ledger Joker, because at the end he scratches his face and has the scars. It is so fucking stupid because Todd Phillips knew this was not okay for Christopher Nolan. He didn't want him to do that because it's like, hey, that's my Joker, that's Keith Ledger, how about you do your own Joker? And Todd was like, all right, that's fine. And then the moment like Nolan wasn't involved with Warner Brothers, he said, fuck you, and just I'm gonna still do it anyway. I'm gonna do my own thing. Nothing fucking matters. Like, this movie only exists to insult people who are fans of the first Joker film, and that's about it. That's the best thing I can say. I don't care what anyone says. This movie was designed to piss people off, and congratulations, you pissed me off. One of my favorite movies ever that is a masterpiece. It doesn't fucking matter. It's been ruined by this stupid fucking awful waste of time movie. I can't even say like okay, it has moments where it's good, but looking back, the musical scenes doesn't even fucking matter anymore. Only the scenes where it's trying to be serious are the only good parts. But I can't get over this ending. This ending genuinely takes off like 5 points for this entire movie. It is that bad. It is that insulting. Oh, but James, you don't understand. Todd Phillips is supposed to be like Arthur in this film. He's himself, you know, people want him to be this guy who lives up to these expectations and does his things, but in reality, he wants to just do other stuff. What a fucking awful cop-out. Stop coping. Holy shit. Yeah, probably the biggest, you know, insult to film industry ever, and it's not even the worst movie ever because there are some things to like about it. I made a very long review on this film on my channel. Feel free to check it out. But yeah, the ending alone is the reason why this movie is up here. It's so bad. Genuinely, like, fuck you, Todd. Like, go back to making The Hangover and just please never touch anything. Don't touch any more franchises that people like anymore. Just go make your own bullshit and just do whatever the fuck you want, like you apparently want to. And I'm so glad this movie didn't make that much in the box office, because this should be a sign to like the fucking industry, the film industry, that people are not happy with bullshit and we don't want laziness or fucking cop-outs or awful endings. Like, oh my god. I don't even know what I'm fucking saying at this point. Fuck this movie. I wish I could literally erase it from my memory. I seriously wish I never saw this film. I was a happier person before I watched this film, and it only served to take away from me. So yeah, Joker 2 is at number 2. Fuck this film. Oh my god, it's so bad. You know, legend has it that once a year a movie is made that after you watch it, you leave the theaters and you question everything about your life. And that did happen this year in 2024. And that happened with me. I questioned so many things. I questioned, like, how this was even possible. How can you make a movie worse than Morbius? Madam Web did that. Number 1 goes to Madam Web. And, oh my god, fuck this movie. You know, it's funny because, like, in my reviews, I always, like, use the term movie and film interchangeably. I don't want to call this a movie. I don't want to call this a film. I don't even want to call this a series of scenes. This was a nightmare. This nightmare stole something from me. My happiness, my time, my money, my dinner that day. I was baffled. For one of the I can appreciate bad movies, and I can appreciate where maybe the director and maybe the people were going for in this film, you know, for times. But this, I was baffled, and even thinking about it, I'm just so baffled that it even got made. Sony and their Spider-Man villain universe decided this year was the year to release Madam Web, and oh my god. It was a disaster even from the beginning. The actors, the main actress, I don't even know her name. I refuse to look this up. I don't want it in my browser history. She was talking shit about this movie. She doesn't even know what Spider-Man is, I feel like. All the other characters are so bad and so boring. They're horrible actresses, and they should never be in another film ever again. Okay, maybe that was too far. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't give a shit about this movie, and it was one of those times where they were just like, oh, let's just not give a shit. The villain of this film is awful and forgettable and lame, and he gets a truck thrown at him like every 5 minutes, and he dies in the stupidest fucking way. Madam Web doesn't even get her powers, her true powers, until the end, and she uses her powers like a fucking asshole bitch because she's so snarky with it. So many decisions were made in this film that was fucking stupid. The character leaves the 3 other girls in the middle of the woods for hours while she goes and gets something that was so important, and she gets mad that they wandered off. I don't think there was a soundtrack in this film. It was forgettable. Spider-Man and some other stuff was, you know, things that are related to it were mentioned, but it didn't matter because, like I said, with Venom, this universe doesn't fucking matter. It's not going anywhere anymore. The editing was so awful and so stupid. They kept trying to do these, like, crazy camera turns every time someone was on the ceiling, and it was so distracting and so bad. Hell, before this movie, people were making fun of it. The music, or the trailer with the music, with the Billie Eilish, what do you want for me? That trailer was so bad. Everyone knew this was going to be a bad movie. It's barely even like a super villain movie because, like, yeah, there's an bigger villain guy, but then the person they're trying to hunt are just teenagers who don't have any special powers, and the main character could just see forward in time, or I guess simulations. The dialogue between characters are so bad and so baffling. Sony had to cut out the scene where the one girl talked about how her mother was in the Amazon forest studying spiders before she died and gave birth. They cut that out because they knew it was so bad. Even Sony themselves are now coping, by the way, as of recently, are being like, oh, this movie wasn't that bad. The critics were really hard on this movie. You guys should still give it a chance. No, don't give this piece of shit experience a chance. I'm trying so hard to not call it a film or a movie. The cinematography was non-existent. There was none. It was just people talking and wandering and going from scene to scene. The backgrounds were so dumb. There was nothing to... I'm talking about so many small things in this film because there's not a single thing that it was enjoyable about this film. The writing was fucking stupid. There's a scene where, like, the main character teaches the 3 teenage girls to, like, give, like, CPR and, like, whenever they get, like, poison. And I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. You don't need that when you're poisoned. You need to get an antidote, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor or anything. The main villain has a dream where the teenage girls are all grown up, and they look fucking awful. The costumes are fucking awful. If you look up a picture of Madam Web in, like, the comic book universes and see what they did with this film, oh my god. It is a nightmare. Again, it is a nightmare. Your mouth is going to be on the floor because you're going to be appalled by, like, how bad they fucked this up. You are literally going to be shocked of how bad this film is. Every single thing about this film is awful. It is stupid. It is bad. It is genuinely the worst fucking thing that I have ever seen of 2024, of course. I seriously don't understand how they made a movie worse than Morbius. How is that even possible? I literally told myself it can't be worse than Morbius, right? It was. I said it before. This is not a film. This is not a movie. This is not a series of scenes. This is a nightmare. This is a torture, like, sequence. I don't know. This is a disaster. This is a mess. This is bad. This is just bad. I wish I could give this a 0 out of 10, but because it's more than 40 minutes long, it's by definition, quote unquote, and I mean heavy quote unquote, it is a movie. I am so glad on the internet, everyone unanimously, I don't even know if I said that right, everyone agrees this is a piece of shit. I don't think there was a single person, alive, breathing human being on this planet right now that saw this and thought it was good. I promise you, every single thing about it is bad. What an awful fucking movie, and I'm going to stop talking about it because there's nothing more to say. If you genuinely want to be shocked, go watch this film. If you want nightmares, if you want to feel every emotion that is, like, negative, go watch this film. Madam Web is the worst movie of 2024. Fuck you. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about 2024. I will be talking about the best movies that came out in 2024 that was really good to me. And yeah, and like I said, if you want to watch me on Twitch, play some video games, feel free, link in the description. Yeah, come catch me, come say hi, come give a follow. Yeah, I would really appreciate it. No, seriously, because, like, I get bored on Twitch. Come keep me company, please. Please. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to, but I really would appreciate people if they follow me on Twitch, and come say hi once in a while. But yeah, that's everything. Everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Do not watch any of the movies that I just talked about unless you actually hate yourself and you want to experience, like, pain, especially with, like, the top 5. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, everyone. You have a great rest of your day. Have a nice one.